check, check. Good morning and welcome to the Hall of Dames. It is just a couple of minutes before 9 a.m. We'll be getting underway here shortly with safety checks and the national anthem and all the other usual preamble before your standard bout. We've got 6 bouts today, 12 hours of roller derby action right straight through today and 12 hours tomorrow. 24 hours of amazing roller derby action. We're getting underway here in just a couple of minutes. And it looks like we are preparing to settle in and perform our safety checks for the first bout here between Southside Roller Derby and the TXRD All-Star Army. So we would like to take a second to introduce to you our regulator crew for today, augmented by several regulators from around the country. The team we couldn't do this without are referees, the regulators. For our first bout today, head referee is Path Blue Ribbon.
And we have game executioner, Gourmet Cupcake.
Jam referee, Helanya Hemlock.
And jam referee, Meryl Streak.
Front pack referee, Malibu Vader.
Backpack referee and subordinate, Amy.
Outside pack referee, Jack Hart.
Penalty tracker, Optical Delusion.
Outside pack referee, Assault Charge.
Penalty tracker assistant, Abby Arsenic.
Penalty box admin, Chosen One.
Penalty box admin, Ref Boyardee.
On whiteboard, Bodily Harm.
Eye in the sky, Hoover Slam.
Eye in the sky, Racy Tracy.
And scoreboard, Maraschino Jerry.
The runner is Whomping Willow.
And last, alternate skating official, Lolly Court.
Show some love for your regulators. It could be the only love they get over the course of the next 24 hours of action. And now we'd like to introduce to you the two teams. First up,
In our pink, we have SSRD Elite. Skater number 127, Violent Viking. Skater number 214, November Pain. Skater 31, Lola Chola. Skater 311, Evil Eye Candy. Skater 413, Mermace. Skater 419, Pandemonium. Skater 5150, Stingray. Skater 629, Crash and Burn. Skater 69, Star. 721, Mojo. 8, Dolly B. Rotten. 82, Daisy Nukes. And 89, Hot Tamale.
skating today for the Texas Roller Derby All-Star Army, number 1031, Jackie Lantern. Number 1337, Joliet Jane. Number 1313, Depeche a la Mode. Number 1945, John Wayne Gay. Number 2-22, Scarlet Knockout. Number 244, Dammit Jammit. Number 247, Jose Cuervo. Number 29, Copperhead. Number 42, Mostly Harmless. Number 616, Scrapegoat. Number 62, Slayana Mormont. And number 9, Ruth Badger Gin. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. Our national anthem singer today is Isaiah Tilson. Isaiah Tilson, age 20, was born in Fairbanks, Alaska, but raised in Phoenix, Arizona for most of his life. He's a singer-songwriter and producer with a crooner, jazz, and R&B style to his music. Isaiah Tilson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant streaming and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, Derby fans, there may not be many of you here, but I'd like to hear a sound from the crowd here. Who is ready for 12 hours of roller derby action today here at Chingadera 2019? We are about ready to get this thing underway. I am your announcer, Old Greg, joined up here for the first bout by Hard Knock Harley. Pleasure to be here with you at the crack of dawn this morning.
I am ready to be here. I've had my coffee. And remind, we have Copper Star on the side. I'm Doomsday Valkyrie, Hard Knock Harley, and I'll be announcing a few times today.
Just talk louder. Maybe talk closer too. Looks like we are ready for the first jam. It's going to be number 1945, John Wayne Gay for the TXRD All-Star Army. And for SSRD, that is number 31, Lola Chola on the jammer line for the first jam here. And fighting her way out of the pack, there is John Wayne Gay.
And looks like we have number 31 for SSRD, Chola, making her way through the pack and try to catch up now to TXRD.
And John Wayne Gay now with malice in her eyes, making her way through that pack, trying to weave her way through on a scoring pass.
Looks like we have Chola coming up through the pack. She's trying to push through TXRD, and they call it off.
We are underway with the first scoring of the tournament. That's Texas putting 3 points on the board there and taking the very early 3-0 lead.
Jamming for SSRD in pink, we have number 419, Pandemonium. And then jamming for TXRD, looks like we have number 616, and they are Scapegoat. And looks like they found a late penalty to call, so this jam will be reset here shortly.
So an official timeout, and we'll take this moment to talk to you about some of our tournament sponsors and league sponsors here with the Arizona Derby Dames. First up, don't forget the ever-present Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth. Be sure to visit the Derby Dames merch booth to get your favorite league and team merchandise. We have t-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, as well as stickers and buttons of your favorite team. That's at the merch booth right here, just outside of turn number 3.
And looks like now this jam is ready to start off. So it looks like SSRD, number 419, Pandemonium, is making her way out.
Scapegoat trying to shake loose along the inside of the first turn and knocked down to the infield by one of the south side blockers.
Panda approaching the pack. See if she can fly through and take lead jam.
Scapegoat now along the inside, and they are able to emerge from the pack. trying to put some pressure on the Southside jammer now to complete that scoring pass that she is working on. Jamming for Southside is Pandemonium, and with a cry from the bench to call the jam, she does so. So 3 points there for Southside. We get ready for the next jam. That's Violent Viking jamming for Southside. And they got a little far away before I saw who was jamming for Texas. Old Greg doesn't have the best eyesight, so as they come on back around here, the Texas jammer is trying to battle to the front of the pack and is caught amongst a large sea of pink jerseys, but able to shake loose. And jamming for Texas, that appears to be number 10-12, Skeletina.
Skeletina is AZDD's very own coffin dragger, so we're super excited to see her part of Chingadera. And she calls it off. Oh, nope. And she calls it off now.
Four points there for Texas on the board. Setting up the jam now for Texas, it's number Leet, Joliet Jane. And for Southside, that is going to be number 413, Mermace, jamming for Southside. Texas jammer right through the back, Joliet Jane able to emerge, and she is your lead jammer for Texas. And Mermace, out of the pack as well. Now trying to fight her way through the pack goes Joliet Jane, back up onto the track and calls off the jam. Three more points for Texas there. Just underway here in the first quarter, Texas with a very early lead, 10-6. Setting up on the jammer line now for Texas is going to be Scapegoat.
Scapegoat trying to push her way through the defensive line here, but looks like we have number 31 making her way through the pack, Lola Chola.
Lola Chola making her way down through the first turn. Scapegoat about a half a track behind. They are trying to catch up down the back straightaway. Lola Chola up into the pack, trying to follow some of those pink blockers up to the front now, working her way through, and calls off the jam.
All right, so it looks like jamming up next for TXRD, we have number 2012, Skeletina. And jamming for SSRD, we have number 419, Pandemonium.
And there goes Skeletina, able to emerge as lead jammer, just ahead of that jammer for Southside. That is Pandemonium trying to catch up to Skeletina. Now Skeletina up to the high side of the track and tumbles down, and from her posterior calls off the jam.
Just under 10 minutes left of the first quarter. We have TXRD at 10 and SSRD at 9.
Looks like setting up the jam for Southside is going to be Violent Viking. And that is Ruth Badger Gin ready to jam for Texas.
TXRD working that defense over there.
Quickly to the front of the pack went all right. To Ruth Badger Gin to the front of the pack and bumped down to the infield by a blocker for Southside now.
And it looks like we have jamming as number 9 for TXRD, Ruth Badger Gin. She's just making her way through the pack.
And there
and
goes.
She makes her way through again.
It's probably Ruth Badger Ginsburg, I'd have to guess. It looks like it just got cut off on our that name didn't make a whole lot of sense. Ruth Badger Ginsburg now up to the back of the pack. The notorious RBG trying to find her way through on another scoring pass. Meanwhile, that jammer for Southside was still stuck in the back of the pack, and that's going to do it for the jam.
Looks like we have TXRD picking up, we'll see how many points they got in that last jam. They pick up 8 points in that last jam. We're going to bring the score to 18.
It's going to be number 62, Slayana Mormont, jamming for Texas, and for Southside, it's number 413, Mermace. And that jam is underway. Both jammers up to the back of the pack looking for an opening. Slayana Mormont thought she had an opening down to the inside, but she took in the shoulder and ended up on the infield, and shaking loose is Mermace for Southside, and she is your lead jammer.
We have TXRD for All-Star Amy, number 62. Slayana Mormont making her way through the pack now. And we have Mermace trying to make her way through the final pass before it's called off. Jamming for TXRD in the green, we have number 42, Mostly Harmless. And jamming for your pink SSRD Elite, number 31, we have Lola Chola.
And fighting her way along the inside and taking lead jammer for Texas, it is number 42, Mostly Harmless.
We had TXRD working a little offense there to try to keep the pink jammer back, but it looks like she broke through.
Mostly Harmless now approaching the pack, calling out some signals to her team, trying to call off the jam, and is able to get the attention of the referees there down the front straightaway. 1 point there for Texas. A little better than halfway through the first quarter here. Tight game so far, 19-13, Texas on top. Setting up the jam is number Leet, Joliet Jane for Texas. And for Southside, it's number 419, Pandemonium.
Looks like we've seen Panda jamming a couple times here tonight so far in Chingadera. I'm sure we'll see her a lot so far this weekend. Joliet looks like she's making her way through the pack. Oh, and looks like she's trying to recover, making her way through the pack first before Pink does take that part and lead jam. We have jamming number again, 419, Pandemonium. Pink working some strong offense and defense together as they try to hold TXRD jammered 1-3-3-7 back.
And that is going to do it. Pandemonium calls off the jam. Got bumped down in the infield, kind of lost her balance, and the momentum carried her further into the infield. Really had to get back on the track in a hurry to call off that jam. It looks to me, indeed, it's going to be our first power jam of Chingadera. But before we get to that, we are going to have a stoppage in play, and it's going to be a team timeout called by Southside. Team timeout by Southside Roller Derby, so we will step aside from the action just briefly.
Reminder here, it is early at Chingadera, so we have Off the Hook is serving breakfast items to accommodate our early start here, making sure everybody is fed with that proper meal of the day.
Also, we are selling seat cushions. If you find later on in the tournament that your poor posterior is feeling a little sore from sitting in the bleachers, $7 seat cushions available at the AZ Derby Dames merchandise booth here during Chingadera.
I don't know about you guys, but with it being early, I can always use coffee. Reminder, we do have Copper Star Coffee, and they're a locally owned and operated coffee shop and cafe, which providing hand-blended drinks and award-winning baked goods. Check out their booth over by the merch counter or visit them at the southwest corner of 7th Avenue and Heather Bray, just north of Indian School Road.
One of our longtime league sponsors here at the Hall of Dames, Lost Dutchman Tattoo. They're a tattoo shop specializing in various styles from realism to traditional. Skaters can get a $50 custom 3-inch tattoo. Appointments available Sunday only. Located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. It's the east side of 19th Avenue, north of Indian School Road, Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Setting up to jam now. It is indeed going to be a power jam for Texas, and doing the honors, it's number 1945. John Wayne Gay, all set to go.
Looks like a power jam. We have number 1945 for TXRD Malice. And the whole point of a power jam is ultimately to see how many points that main jammer can pick up. Malice coming up to their pack again. And we have SSRD trying to work the defense to hold her back. Building a strong wall with your players is ultimately the essential part when you have a power jam, is want to prevent that jammer from getting as many points as possible.
I can't see the whiteboard. And that's going to do it for the Texas Power Jam. We will wait for the official score. And Malice able to pick up 4 points there during the Texas Power Jam. Pushes that lead up slightly, 23-15, with 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Setting up to jam for Southside is going to be number 127, Violent Viking. And jamming for Texas, that's Skeletina.
I think this is the first time that we've seen Viking jam so far at Chingadera. I'm sure it won't be the last.
Viking now to the front of the pack. Skeletina blasting by on the outside, and Viking says, "Let me follow in your wake." And Skeletina calls off the jam with Violent Viking being so close behind her. So we will set up for the next jam. It's going to be Mermace for Southside. And jamming for Texas, that is
Scapegoat. So I believe this is the first time that we have seen Scapegoat jam tonight. Or tonight, I'm sorry, I should say this morning.
Today, right, yeah.
I should probably get more coffee then, huh?
You just get into autopilot. You're just so used to roller derby being at night. When roller derby's in the morning, it just changes everything.
12
Meanwhile,
hours, ready for it.
Fighting their way through the pack, there goes Scapegoat, and Scapegoat is your lead jammer for Texas. Down to the inside goes Mermace, trying to find a way through along the inside and bumped off onto the infield by Mostly Harmless. Meanwhile, Scapegoat gets through on a scoring pass, putting some points on the board for Texas. With 15 seconds to go here in this jam, Scapegoat trying to get around for another scoring pass, if at all possible. 5 seconds to go in the jam. Seeing if
As you can see, both teams are using great defense through this last jam here, making sure that they can hold the jammer back as much as possible.
It's been pretty good defense, I mean, from both sides. It's been, I hate to use the term defensive struggle, but so far, good defense played by both teams here today. We're looking at a score of just 30-15 with a minute and 40 to go here in the first quarter. But before we get to that, we do have a team challenge, Texas. Texas is going to challenge whatever ruling was just ruled.
And it looks like that it was because Scapegoat, number 616, was getting a back block penalty is what it shows there.
So Texas challenging to try to avert the power jam being awarded to Southside. So the break in the action gives us another chance to talk about some more of our sponsors here.
Yes.
Do not forget about Third Space. Come join us at the Derby Dames official after-party location. Third Space, cafe, bar, coffee shops, and music. They're located at 1028 Grand Avenue. That's the corner of 11th Avenue and Grand. A mere 5-minute drive from the warehouse, and that is where the after-party is going to be tomorrow night.
And don't forget to stop by Siphon Jaw Apothecary Shop booth over by Merch. As you can see, they do produce all natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos. You can visit them at the Goldfield Ghost Town on the historic Highway 88, and you'll be amazed to see how many different natural products she can produce, and they all smell amazing.
Do we have any TXRD All-Star Army fans in the house? A handful of Hardy fans out here at 9 some odd in the morning. How about some fans for Southside Roller Derby? There we are. Excellent, excellent. Thank you for joining us for Brunch Derby. We appreciate it.
All right, so it looks like we're still going through a challenge here. And looks like we're going to call the two captains, possibly with head refs, so they can talk about this.
And it looks like the challenge has wrapped up. Making her way on over here to let us know is our game executioner for this first bout. Gourmet Cupcake coming over to let us know what the outcome of the coach's challenge is going to be. It looks like it is not over yet. Looks like the referee crew is together there in the back straightaway.
Well, let's talk about some more stuff while they're still deliberating. So, don't forget, we also have another sponsor here for your Chingadera. We have Above and Beyond Palette Creations. Have you ever seen the amazing team signs in the warehouse? Above and Beyond Palette Creations takes palettes and gives them a second life. For more information or to commission work, see Bobby Ross, who is the coach of our Schoolyard Scrappers. You can also look up Above and Beyond Palette Creations on Facebook. All right, so it looks like we have pink that did challenge that, and green decided that it was overruled.
We are getting everything sorted out here. Head referee Paf Blue Ribbon has come over and is explaining the situation. So, Texas initially challenged the ruling on their jammer. There was a back block called on their jammer. So Texas challenged that, and the challenge was successful. The penalty was overturned. Then Southside challenged the challenge. So Southside challenged the fact that it had been overturned. So the referees got together, and that challenge was declined. So the overturn is upheld. And I feel like I just watched an episode of Law & Order. Sam Waterston needs to tell me what the heck is going on here. That's all I know. On the jammer line for Texas, that's Ruth Badger Ginsburg.
And jamming up again for SSRD, we have the lovely number 31, Lola Chola.
So we are underway in this jam now with a minute 30 to go in the first quarter. Every team carrying one less challenge now. And Ruth Badger Ginsburg blasting to the front, and she is your lead jammer for Texas.
Looks like we have number 31 breaking her way through the pack now, Lola Chola. SSRD is definitely showing some amazing defense and offense, being able to switch. And it's called off.
Ruth Badger Ginsburg through the pack. We will wait for the official score there.
So it looks like jamming for TXRD, we have number 1337, Julia Jane. And jamming for SSRD in pink, we have 419, Pandemonium. Both these jammers we've both seen many times so far in Chingadera, and I'm sure we'll see them many more throughout the weekend.
We are underway in this jam. A little less time left on the quarter clock than there is in the jam clock, so this could hypothetically be the last jam of the first quarter. We'll have to wait and see. Big block there by Malice along the back straightaway and knocking that Southside jammer onto the infield. Both jammers still kind of hemmed in the back of the pack there for a small blocking pack. And now able to shake loose. There goes Pandemonium. And Pandemonium is your lead jammer.
As you can see, Pink was doing a great job at holding Green's jammer back, which is ultimately what does allow your jammer to get out first and possibly collect points.
And we are going to step aside. We have reached the end of the first quarter. Quarter clock just got down to the end of the quarter there, so we are at the end of the first quarter. We will step aside for a 5-minute quarter break and be back to the action here in just a couple of minutes.
Before that break ends, though, looks like we do have a couple penalties that were picked up. Pink, number 419, did get a blocking, and then we have Green picking up number 1031. Looks like they got another penalty as well.
We'd like to let you know, of course, we did mention Off the Hook Taco Truck is already set up outside, and they are serving breakfast. My goodness, breakfast at a fish taco truck. Yes, indeed. They've got all sorts of options other than fish as well. And later on today, the dessert truck will be here. If you were here at our last bout last Saturday, Fantasy Funnel Cake is a food truck that can make your fantasies come true. You'll be able to step outside and get a dessert to die for. They also serve corn dogs, pretzels, churros, and fried Twinkies. It's delicious food for your face at the Fantasy Funnel Cake truck. They will be here later on.
I can see that very well now. Thank you very much. Yes, that works. All right, everyone. Just a reminder, we have a little over a minute left for the second quarter break.
Looks like we are just about ready to get back underway here with the second quarter. If you are just joining us, so far our score after one quarter of play is Texas 37, Southside 18. And we are going to start this quarter off with a power jam for Texas. Penalty called on the Southside jammer in the last jam of the first quarter. So Skeletina to the jammer line now. Skeletina, one of our Arizona skaters, helping to fill in here for Texas. They were a little shorthanded. Several of our skaters from the Derby names are giving them a boost this weekend, Skeletina being one of them. Plus, of course, Malice Aforethought, formerly of our league, now skates for Texas. So all sorts of Arizona love on the Texas squad today.
SSRD looks like their offense is a little aggressive right now, and that's the whole point when you have a power gem is you want to prevent them from scoring as many points as possible. I would be aggressive too.
Skeletina out of the pack, and she is now an active scorer coming around with 22 seconds to go in the Texas power jam. Looking for an opening as the pack moves through the apex of the first turn. Right up mid-pack is Skeletina, up along that railing, ground into the rail by one of the Southside blockers.
Just a few seconds left of this power jam, and it looks like she's going to keep going until the clock runs out.
Skeletina completes a scoring pass, and that'll do it for the clock. We will wait for the official score. And it's a 5-point power jam for Texas. So that's going to take Texas's lead up to 42-18 here in the early going of the second quarter. And in a bout in which points are at a premium like this, then definitely every 4- and 5-point pickup is going to be a big boost for either team. Fighting her way down and shaking loose along the inside is your Texas jammer. That is Ruth Badger Ginsburg, but out loose now is Violent Viking, and she is burning up the track trying to catch up. It's going to give Ruth Badger Ginsburg a chance to get through the pack. Blast through the pack and is knocked to the turf and not able to call it off before surrendering points to Southside.
That was close.
And indeed, both teams picking up 4 points there. So a net gain of none, bit of a push. However, we are going to have a power jam now for Southside.
And it looks like we're going to have a power jam because we have a couple players on TXRD picking up some arms penalties. We have number 244 picking up some arms penalties, jamming. And then it looks like the jammer, also number 9, Booth Badger Gin, got some penalties too.
So jamming for Southside is number 31, Lola Chola. Lola Chola now is out there all by her lonesome. Just a few blockers out there for Texas. So Southside is going to try to control the pace of play here.
I believe that this is SSRD's first power jam so far this game. And with the jammer being number 31 in pink, you have Lola Chola. Let's see how many points she can pick up in this power jam.
Lola Chola now approaching the pack. 15 seconds to go here in the Southside Power Jam. Those two Texas blockers that are out there are now trying to play keep away and get away from Lola Chola, but she is through the pack. Her name was Lola, and she's a jammer. And she scored some points for Southside. We will have to wait and see here for the official score.
42 in green TXRD, mostly harmless. They're showing some really good offense, holding that pink jammer back towards the end.
And the official score from the referees, it's a 10-point power jam. For number 31, Lola Chola, it's our first, I believe that's our first double-digit scoring jam we've had here today.
Yeah, it looks like we did have a penalty picked up by number 1945, John Wayne Gay. Looks like they did pick up a failure to reform penalty, so green was down a blocker in this one.
Big collision there in the first turn. Scapegoat trying to find her way through the pack for Texas, find their way through the pack for Texas, and took a tumble there. One of the Texas blockers went down just flat on her face there in the first turn.
Looks like number 413 in pink jamming is Mermaid. She's pushing against Joliet's good offense. Joliet's probably going to hold her back. Being able to sway from the high to the low is one of the hardest things in Derby. But she's going to push through. And she's taking lead jammer.
Scapegoat is still hung up in the pack, but then able to shake loose and angle her way through the pack, and Scapegoat making their way around the far turn and down the front straightaway, now trying to catch up. Meanwhile, over in the pack, fighting her way through was Mermaid. A break in the action here. We are waiting to find out what's going on.
Looks like we have some penalties in that last jam. For TXRD, we have number 1337, Joliet Jane. Looks like she did end up picking an illegal procedure penalty there.
Stepping up to the jammer line for Texas is number 9, RBG. Number 413, Mermaid, jamming again for Southside. It's not Mermaid, it's Pandemonium. Pandemonium is the jammer for Southside, in fact, and she is up to the front of the pack and trying to find an opening, and her blockers help her shake loose. Pandemonium is the lead jammer for Southside. Just out behind her, though, it is Ruth Badger Ginsburg for Texas, and Pandemonium calls off the jam.
Looks like jamming now for TXRD in the green. We have 1945 John Wayne Gay. And it looks like it's called off. We have a penalty gathered on that last jam, number 214 in pink. Looks like they did pick up a arms penalty.
So a brief stoppage in the action. We're getting a visit from the referees to let us know what's going on. So it should be 9. Hang on, 9:22. Yeah, I can't do backwards math. Right. Well, that's I had to think about it. I'm like, oh, what's 60 minus 38? It's too early for math. So this is an official timeout. How many volunteers does it take to figure out what 60 minus 38 is? More than me. I'm here to announce. I don't come to the holidays to math everybody. But we do have the score sorted out and the clock sorted out. So it's going to be 9:22 now to go in the second quarter. And stepping up to the jammer line for Texas, it's Jose Cuervo for the first time. And that was Violent Viking for Southside that said, "Welcome to the jammer line, let me bump you." But Jose Cuervo is through, and they are your lead jammer for Texas.
Looks like we have Violet Viking still in the back of the pack, going to try to push her way through offense from TXRD, Joliet Jane. Jose Cuervo, they just made their way through that pack again seamlessly. It's just going to go ahead and give them lead here. So we'll see how many points they can pick up.
And they're exiting the front of the pack. There goes Violent Viking for Southside. Jose Cuervo gets through. Jose Cuervo gets through on another scoring pass and calls off the jam.
Let's see how many points that they were able to pick up there. So it looks like we have 5 points being picked up by Jose Cuervo. Or 9 points, excuse me. And looks like we do have a couple penalties, which is going to allow SSRD to get another power jam. We have number 247 for TXRD picking up a back block penalty.
So stepping to the jammer line for Southside, it's Lola Chola to do the power jam again for the Southside Roller Derby Elite team. And Lola quickly to the front of the pack, dispenses with that last blocker for Texas, and she is clear and is an active scorer now on this power jam. 45 seconds to go in the power jam. That Southside offense is trying to let their jammer get through, but she runs into a wall of 3 olive drab jerseys, trying to find her way through here along the rail and get some help from her blockers who are trying to hold the pack apart.
TXRD showing some amazing offense and trying to hold that jammer back. Great communication skills also, which is super important with your teammates. If you can't communicate, then sometimes it doesn't work out.
Ten seconds to go here in the Southside Power Jam. Lola Chola on her second scoring pass, trying to get past as many skaters as she can before the clock expires. Pack is kind of ground to a halt down there in the first turn, and that's going to do it for the clock.
TXRD 55, SSRD 36. Let's see how many points were picked up from that power jam.
It's going to be a 9-point power jam for Southside. So they put 9 points on the board there, and we are at 55-45. And it's a 10-point lead for Texas with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go until halftime of this very first bout of Chingadera 2019. Fighting her way through the pack and emerging, that's number elite, Joliet Jane.
And jamming for SSRD in the pink, we have number 413, Mermaids.
Joliet Jane now is in the middle of the pack, squeezing her way through on a scoring pass, looks around and goes ahead and calls off the jam. Four points there for Texas. Jamming for Southside is going to be number 419, Pandemonium. For Texas, it's number 9, RBG. And there are bodies flying every which way. It's like a drowning pool song, my goodness. Trying to fight their way through the pack, both jammers. There goes Ruth Badger Ginsburg. Excuse me. Ruth Badger Ginsburg is your lead jammer for Texas. That is going to be Pandemonium, still trying to fight her way through the pack for Southside, and she is out and clear. So the pressure now on Ruth Badger Ginsburg to finish this scoring pass. Takes a humongous hit there from one of the pink blockers coming through the turn.
Looks like we have a penalty picked up from TXRD on that last one. We have skater 9, which was that jammer Ruth Badger Gin. Looks like they did go ahead and pick up a back block penalty, which that means that pink, SSRD, is going to go ahead and get a power jam. For this power jam, looks like we have number 127, Violet Viking. So again, with this power jam, see how many points they can pick up. And she just cruised her way right through that pack. So let's go ahead and see how easy she's able to break her way through TXRD's defensive offense wall.
40 seconds to go in the power jam. There's Violent Viking already trying to find her way through. Now angles up to the outside and back down through to the inside. And Violent Viking is through and clear on a scoring pass. 26 seconds to go in the Southside power jam. Southside doing a good job of keeping the pace of play slow down here and giving their jammer a chance to get around again with 15 seconds to go here in the power jam. Trying to find her way through the pack right now, looking for an opening. Takes a tumble down to the infield, does Violent Viking. Just 3 seconds left, bump down again. And that's gonna do it for the power jam.
And of course, looks like we did receive a couple penalties in that last one. Looks like we have SSRD picking up a few penalties and TXRD picking up some as well. Let's go ahead and wait for clarification. We'll see what they are. All right, so we have green skater number 24. It looks like they did go ahead and pick up a low block, damage jam it. And then we have skaters 82, 629 picking up some penalties as well.
Jamming for Texas, it's number Leet Joliet Jane. And Joliet Jane is out of the pack and is your lead jammer for Texas. Making her way around now and trying to get back to the pack while the pack is both jammers now kind of approaching at the same time and emerging out of the front of the pack as Mermace for Southside. And there goes Joliet Jane and able to lap the jammer there to pick up that jammer point. Now calling out some blocking assignments for her blockers, trying to get through and pick up some more points without giving up any points. Knocked up into the rail. And we had an 8-point jam there for Texas. They put some points on the board. Pretty much keeping that lead pretty much the same as it's been since the quarter started. That's about where we started with the lead. Jamming for Texas now, number 42, Mostly Harmless. And for Southside, that's number 31, Lola Chola.
I think this is the first time that we have seen number 42, Mostly Harmless, jamming for TXRD. So let's go ahead and see what happens.
Well, both jammers are out. Lola Chola is your lead jammer for Southside. Mostly Harmless trying to catch up as well. And Mostly Harmless down along the inside, and she's able to steal lead jammer away.
Mostly Harmless did an amazing jump on the coping, which did allow her to get ahead in that last jam. And she calls it off. All right, looks like in that last jam we did have 6 points picked up by number 42, Mostly Harmless.
Setting up the jam now, it's going to be number 419, Pandemonium for Southside. And for Texas, it's going to be Scapegoat.
And it looks like we have some deliberation on the number of points that was collected in that last jam.
So we'll step aside from the action here briefly for an official timeout. All of our referees getting on the same page here, so we would like to let you know about another one of our tournament sponsors. Zoyo Frozen Yogurt is located on the corner of 7th Avenue and McDowell, just down the street from here. If you're looking for a treat, you can visit Zoyo. They offer a delicious assortment of self-serve frozen yogurt, as well as flavors and toppings sure to satisfy. That's at Zoyo Frozen Yogurt.
And one of AZDD's, and I'm sure Chingadera's familiar places for fun this weekend will be Third Space. You can go ahead and always come join us at Third Space, which is the official after-party location. Third Space does have a cafe, bar, coffee shops, and live music. It's located at 1028 on Grand Avenue. All right, now we're picking up from that last deliberation. And again, reminder, skating in green, we have Scapegoat, and skating for SSRD in pink, we have 419 Pandemonium.
We are underway, approaching 1 minute to go until halftime now with this jam. Maybe at least one more jam before the halftime break, if not two.
Looks like we have 419 Pandemonium making lead in pink. TXRD still trying to hold that defensive wall back there and switching to offense, trying to get their jammer out.
Scapegoat now to the front of the pack, trying to fight her way past a couple of blockers.
And 616 Scapegoat. They're just struggling a little bit to get through that pack to make that first initial pass, which is then in the best time in which the teammates will help you always get out.
Big collision there in the back of the pack. That was Jackie Lantern getting the worst of it. Knocked onto the infield by one of the Southside blockers. Scapegoat out of the pack, approaching the pack, and that's going to do it for the jam.
I don't see any penalties picked up on that last jam. And jamming in pink, which we've seen a few times so far in Chingadera, we have number 127, Violet Viking. And jamming for TXRD, we have 1337, Joliet Jane. Looks like Viking took a little tumble there, but she does make a quick recovery, hopping her way right back into the jam. And it looks like she's going to take lead on that, but looks like we do have a jam chase with Joliet Jane trying to catch that pink jammer. Violet looks like she's shouting out commands through that last jam.
And that is going to do it for the last jam of the second quarter. We will wait for the official score here, but that is going to take us into halftime just as soon as we get the official score.
Both teams got points in that last jam. Looks like we have Joliet picked up 2 for her team, and we have Violet Viking picked up 2 for her team as well.
And we are stepping aside for halftime. It'll be a 15-minute break here for the half. So we'll take a second to catch our breath here in the first bout of Chingadera 2019 as we step aside. At the moment, 10-minute halftime, 10-minute halftime. Not 15 minutes, it's a 10-minute halftime. Just wanted to make sure everybody heard that. So just a brief second here, really just a break to kind of catch our breath, and then we'll keep going with the third quarter. Your score right now, Texas 77, Southside 64.
Also a reminder, as we do have many teams skating through Chingadera, skaters do have priority to our bathrooms. If you do see any skaters in line, please be mindful.
And Derby fans, as we enjoy our little halftime break here, we'd like to let you know about the schedule for the rest of the day. We are not taking any breaks. We've got bouts all the way through until 9 p.m. tonight. Next up at the conclusion of this bout will be Tilted Thunder from Seattle versus your hometown Arizona Derby Dames. That's at 11 a.m. At 1 p.m. is San Diego Derby United versus the L.A. Derby Dolls. At 3 p.m., Southside Roller Derby that you're watching right now versus Tilted Thunder. At 5 p.m. this evening, it'll be this very same Texas All-Star Army versus Los Angeles. And at 7 p.m. tonight, it's San Diego Derby United versus the Arizona Derby Dames. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we're going to open up with Southside versus San Diego. At 11 a.m. tomorrow, it's Texas versus Tilted Thunder. 1 p.m. tomorrow, Arizona versus Los Angeles. 3 p.m. tomorrow, Texas versus San Diego. 5 p.m. tomorrow is Southside versus Arizona. And at 7 p.m. tomorrow, it's Tilted Thunder versus Los Angeles. This tournament, of course, is a potential preview of what you might see at Battle on the Bank in June in Houston, Texas. That is the annual National Bank Track Roller Derby Tournament. The adult teams and Bank Track minor teams will be competing at Battle on the Bank. And I don't know if you guys have heard this, but you know the Arizona Derby Dames minor assaults, they are national champions. I heard a little cheer going up. Anyhow, our national champion minor assaults are traveling to Houston, Texas to defend their title in June. And it looks like they are currently selling popcorn down there just outside of turn number 2 for $1 a bag. So if you'd like to get yourself some warm popcorn to snack on while you're watching the rest of the fantastic action today, head on over there and support the minor assaults as they attempt to get some money in the coffers before their big trip in about 4 weeks. 4 months. 4 months, that is, not 4 weeks.
All right, everybody, reminder, we have just over 20 seconds left of halftime.
And hey, out-of-town teams that are here with us right now, listen, if we are not getting your name or your number pronunciation right, just skate by up here and tell us. Because, you know, we're going to be announcing your name a whole lot this weekend, so I definitely want to get it correct. So, like I said, if there's something we're not saying right about your name or number, just roll on by and let us know how it's supposed to be pronounced. Mine's easy. It's Old Greg. That's pretty hard to screw up. So, but if you've got a name that we're not doing right, like I said, let us know.
We normally have a list that helps us with that, but we don't have that yet. So we're going to work on that for you guys, though. Also, reminder, if the lines for the bathrooms are long, we do have porta potties out in the back by Off the Hook Trucking and some of our vendors. So again, reminder, skaters do get priority for the bathroom inside. If the line's a little too long for you guys to wait, please feel free to visit our clean porta potties outside where you can actually wash your hands too.
So getting underway here in the third quarter, and your first jammer for Texas in the third quarter is going to be Skeletina. And jamming for Southside is number 31, Lola Chola.
Skeletina made her way through the pack pretty quickly there.
Skeletina out and clears your lead jammer for Texas. Trying to fight her way through the pack. There is Lola Chola trying to find her way to the front here. Now Skeletina at the back of the pack trying to fight her way past a wall of pink jerseys.
As you can see, TXRD has a strong defensive wall here with some of their main skaters. John Wayne Gay, and looks like we also have Copperhead, and looks like we also have and Scapegoat 616. And who's the other one?
Now getting out the front of the pack, there goes Lola Chola. Meanwhile, finishing another scoring pass is Skeletina. And it's a 9-point jam for Texas to get things going here in the third quarter. Setting up the jam now for Texas is number Leet Joliet Jane. And that's number 413 Mermace jamming for Southside.
Mermace pushed her way through the high there, trying to make her way through the defensive wall of TXRD. Some pretty strong offense working there. It looks like there's a little tumble that was taken down there by some TXRD skaters. Mermaid still pushing her way to try to take lead on this jam. Some really strong defensive wall here. It looks like we have that coming from, is that number 42, Mostly Harmless. Quick recovery as well from both teams are being shown so far.
Able to find her way out the front of the pack is the Southside Jammer, so that's going to put the pressure on Joliet Jane now in order to get through here and get as many points as she can, and she goes ahead and calls off the jam. Setting up the jam now on the jammer line for Texas, wearing those distinctive Texas bottoms is number 9, RBG.
Looks like we have some penalties being picked up in that last one. Pink skater 5150 looks like they did go ahead and pick up an above shoulders penalty, and TXRD skater number 24 looks like they did go ahead and pick up a stopping penalty.
Jamming for Southside in this jam is number 8, Dolly B. Rotten, and she is your lead jammer for Southside. Jamming for the first time here this morning. And Dolly B. Rotten now through the pack on a scoring pass, and she's not content to let it go. She is going to get by and pick up that jammer point. She gets through, puts a shoulder into Ruth Badger Ginsburg, and now Dolly B. Rotten trying to catch up to the pack again is going to try to put some points on the board, seeing if she can fight through and trying to keep herself in front of RBG. They're coming on around.
I don't think we got any penalty pickups on that last jam.
And it was a 5-point jam for Southside.
Lining up for pink, we have number 419, Pandemonium. And jamming for TXRD, we have Arizona Derby Dame's very own Damn It, Jam It. Jam It just pushing her way through the wall. Looks like she's going to go ahead and take lead. Panda still working her way to make her way through that pack. Jose Cuervo looks like they're trying to go ahead and show some strong defensive walls, holding that jammer back, also with the help of their teammate, number 42, Mostly Harmless.
Tightly bunched pack here as they make their way into the front straightaway, trying to battle their way on down.
Just a little over 10 minutes left of the third quarter. We have both teams pretty close when it comes to scores. Could be anybody's game at this chance. So you might see that the players might start to get a little bit more aggressive, as we can see here.
And just as Damn It, Jam It emerged from the front of the pack on a scoring pass, that's going to do it for the jam. It's a 5-point jam for Texas there, putting some more points on the board. Texas come out aggressively here in the second half, and they have expanded that lead that they had been maintaining throughout much of the second quarter. Well, they are building on it now. And they're going to have a chance to put some more points on the board here because it is a power jam for the Texas All-Star Army. Stepping up to the jammer line, number 1945, Malice Aforethought.
Looks like Pink Jammer Pandemonium had picked up an arms penalty in that last one. And we have TXRD. Looks like they picked up a directional block.
Malice now looking for trying to get to the front of the pack. Takes a tumble and gets up and reestablishes behind everybody.
John Wayne Gaisel trying to make her way through the pack.
And the pack just moves smoothly on into the back straightaway. Malice still trying to fight her way through there, and strong defense being played by Southside, and it looks like we have executed a star pass as the cry grows up from the benches, and that's number 616, Scapegoat. They have taken over as the jammer and are battling their way to the front of the pack now. Knocked down again by number 721, Mojo, and that's going to do it for the jam. And excellent defense on the penalty kill by Southside there. No points scored by Texas on the power jam. And we are going to have a stop in the action. It is a team timeout by Southside. So we will step aside very briefly from the action here. We'd like to let you know for the month of February, the Arizona Derby Dames are working with Feed My Starving Children, a local nonprofit that feeds hungry and malnourished children all over the world. This month, skaters from the Arizona Derby Dames will be volunteering to pack food boxes and food bags to send to starving children. Please come volunteer with us on Wednesday, February 27th from 8:30 to 10 p.m. in Mesa. For more information, please go to their website at fmsc.org. And it looks like we're just about ready to get back to the action here. The team timeout for Southside wrapping up. We got 8:30 to go here in the third quarter, and Texas has come out very aggressively here in the second half. They've built that lead up to 25 points at this point, 94-69. So we are ready to get started here, and Southside took that time out there to discuss strategy for this power jam. It is going to be a power jam for Southside, and on the jammer line is number 31, Lola Chola.
Looks like for TXRD, we show their players is going to go ahead and be Joliet Jane, followed by skater 247. Looks like they are Jose Cuervo. In addition to skater 42, Mostly Harmless. So as the opposing team, their goal is going to see how many points they can prevent from happening. Chola's just blasting her way through that.
Lola Chola able to push those blockers far enough out of play that they had to stop blocking, and she is now an active scorer halfway through the power jam. 29 seconds to go in the power jam. Lola Chola now looking for her blockers to give her a hand here, weaving her way around and trying to make some progress against that three wall of Texas skaters at the front of the pack. Now,
Joliet doing an amazing job at keeping her team flowing back and forth.
still trying to blast her way through there along the front of the pack and took a hard shoulder from Mostly Harmless. Just a couple of seconds left in the power jam. No seconds left in the power jam. And we'll wait for the official score. And it is indeed a 5-point power jam for Southside.
Looks like TXRD did go ahead and pick up a penalty. Looks like we have Jose Cuervo, and they did go ahead and pick up an arms penalty.
On the jammer line for Texas, it's number 616, Scapegoat. And jamming for Southside is going to be Mermace. Big collision, several skaters taking a tumble there. Mermace able to kind of make her way around them up to the outside and fights her way through the pack along that safety rail. And Mermace is your lead jammer for Southside. Still mired in the pack as number 616 Scapegoat. They are battling to the front now and running into a wall of pink jerseys. Escorted down to the infield by a couple of blockers for Southside was Scapegoat. Meanwhile, there's Mermace trying to find her way through the pack on a scoring pass.
Looks like we have number 214 in pink, November Pain, doing an amazing job at controlling that jammer from getting out.
Scapegoat able to get out of the pack there, and the last blocker out of play, so Scapegoat coming on around. Mermace through the pack on a scoring pass. Call goes up from the bench to call it, and she obliges.
Looks like we do have skater number 24 for TXRD, and it looks like they did go ahead and pick up a stopping penalty on that last one, so we will see them down a blocker.
Jamming for Texas is number 1012, Skeletina. And for Southside, it's number 8, Dolly B. Rotten.
Thank you.
And emerging as lead jammer, that is Dolly B. Rotten for Southside. Here comes Skeletina for Texas, trying to make up a little bit of ground now. Dolly B. Rotten mid-pack, trying to get past a couple of skaters and calls off the jam.
All right, looks like we have jamming in pink is number 419, Pandemonium. Seen her a couple times tonight. And jamming in the green for TXRD, we have Ruth Badger Gin, number 9. Looks like both teams have a full pack on this jam, which means no penalties called in the last jam, which is always good for both teams. And looks like we have both jammers pretty equal right now, trying to make her way through the pack to see which jammer is going to be able to take lead. And we have Panda, which did go ahead and snatch lead on this jam. Ruth trying to push her way through the offensive wall of pink. We have a couple great skaters here. She's just trying to push her way through that wall. And looks like she made her way around again, which always, of course, means that she's going to get more points. But Ruth is skating up quickly to catch her, which is what we call in Derby sometimes a jammer race. And she calls it off.
Call goes up from Southside's bench there. Not sure if she knew how close that Ruth Badger Ginsburg was to catching her from behind. So the bench letting her know to call it, and she does so. 4 points there for Southside, and Southside has really hacked into that lead here. Then, let's see, that's 19 unanswered points for Southside right now to get them within 9. 94-85 Texas here with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the quarter. We've got another first-time jammer out there for Texas.
And in that last jam, it looks like we did have a jammer, a blocker for each team that did have to sit out due to penalties. We have Mojo and Damage Jam It for teams who are serving some penalties.
Looks like that is Jose Cuervo jamming for Texas, and they are having a little bit of trouble there in the back of the pack, trying to pick their way around a couple of blockers for Southside. Getting some help from their pivot now. That's Malice trying to clear some space for him. Meanwhile, Your jammer for Southside just barreling through and picking up points left and right. That is number 31, Lola Chola, their designated power jammer, so one of the better jammers on the squad. And now emerging from the pack, there goes your Texas skater. And we will get an update on who that is during the quarter break. Number 24 for Texas is your jammer. We don't have a name on her. And we are going to have a team timeout by Texas, so we will take a brief break, and we'll step aside from the action here.
Looks like we have green calling a timeout, and looks like for that last jam we did have pink pick up a penalty. We have a failure to reform for skater 89, which is going to be Hot Tamale. All right, so it looks like we do have jamming in this last jam is number 413, Mermason Pink, and jamming it looks like we have Joliet Jane, number 1337 for TXRD.
This jam is underway. Quickly to the front of the pack goes Joliet Jane, and Joliet Jane with those big ground covering strides is out as your lead jammer for Texas. Mermace now trying to fight her way through the pack for Southside and unable to find her way out. That score got awful close, awful quick, didn't it? Texas up by 1 right now.
Joliet Jane just hauling her way through that pack and go ahead and take lead. Mermace is going to go ahead and try to push her way and catch up to her.
And Mermace able to negotiate that last blocker. Joliet Jane now trying to find an opening on a second scoring pass, trying to find her way through here and put some more points on the board for Texas.
We have Pink showing some strong offense in that last one before it's called off from skater 721, Mojo. And skating, jamming now in pink, we have number 8, Dolly B. Rotten.
And it does appear that this is going to be a power jam for Southside. We're still waiting for the official score here.
Looks like we have green down a blocker, number 247 for cutting. And in pink, we have number 69. Star did go ahead and get a above the shoulders penalty.
There we go. And not a power jam after all. Just a late jammer getting up there. That's number 9, Ruth Badger Ginsburg for Texas out there, along with number 8, Dolly B. Rotten for Southside. And that's Ruth Badger Ginsburg now blasting through and is your lead jammer. Texas picked up 8 points there in the last jam, so the score right now is 102-93 Texas. Big collision there. Heard a skater going down. That's Dolly B. Rotten getting knocked to the turf as she was trying to exit the pack. Meanwhile, there goes Ruth Badger Ginsburg, and she is met very hard by somebody's hip there coming down out of the pack, and she's knocked down to the infield again. Dolly B. Rotten now able to get out of the pack as well. Both of these jammers absolutely taking a pummeling here.
We have TXRD showing some great offense on that last jam to help their teammate get out.
And we will set up for the last jam of the third quarter.
Picking up some penalties, we have pink skater 515 Stingray did go ahead and get an above the shoulders block penalty, excuse me. And in green we have number 42. They did go ahead and pick up a low block penalty. Each team will be down a blocker for this next jam.
Your jammer for Texas is Joliet Jane, and jamming for Southside is Pandemonium. 5 points scored there by Texas in that previous jam, so they're up by 14 as we Start the last jam of this quarter. Trying to find a way to the front of the pack. There goes Joliet Jane. And Joliet Jane is your lead jammer for Texas.
That's all right. Panda makes her way through the pack, and she's going to go ahead and skate up to catch up to her as well. And Joliet's just flying her way through that pack. And she calls it off.
Joliet Jane there jumped on the track, then got back off and tried to make sure she wasn't going to be guilty of a cut penalty. That is going to do it for the third quarter, though. We are going to take a brief 5-minute break in the action here. Get a drink of water, refresh ourselves for a moment. We will wait for the score.
Fourth quarter.
Quarter break has started. So we are going to step aside from the action here. It's a 5-point jam for Texas. That's what we're waiting on. 5 points there for Texas in the last jam of the third quarter. Your score as we head to the quarter break. It got close there for a second, but Texas put some points on the board here going into the quarter break. Texas 112, Southside 93, and we'll be back in about 4.5 minutes with the fourth quarter. We'd like to let you know that if you're interested in being part of the roller derby community, but hitting people just isn't your thing, our regulators are always looking for dedicated and eager minds to learn our rule set and help keep our ladies on the track safe. Our regulators team accepts all gender types. There are various levels of officiating that go on during roller derby bouts. Come be a part of the action and help our league grow. Ask any skater or ref how to get involved.
Are you a young lady between the ages of 10 to 17 who loves to skate, or do you know one? Minor Assaults are a nonprofit 501c3 and are always looking for new skaters to join their team. Our coaches not only teach technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that will help in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills, dedication to learn, and a positive mental attitude are what we require here at Arizona Derby Dames. Come see what all of the fun is about. Ask any Arizona Derby Dames how to get involved, or visit our website at azddinspire.org for more information on donating or sponsoring your minor assaults. All right, remind everybody there's just a little over a minute left of the fourth quarter. And also just please, again, be mindful if you do see any skaters that need to use the restroom.
We are just about ready to get underway with the fourth quarter here. Getting back to the action. Your score right now, Texas 112, Southside 93. It's been pretty much that kind of a spread throughout here, so it'll be contingent on Southside to try to build up some momentum here going into the fourth quarter.
This is a power jam because it looks like we did miss that penalty call in the last one, but Joliet Jane, skater 1337 for TXRD, did pick up a cutting penalty, so of course that's how this power jam is happening now.
So a great chance for Southside to really put some points on the board here. Dolly B. Rotten, number 8, is out there all by her lonesome for Southside. Trying to fight her way through to the front of the pack now. And able to push past those blockers and get them pushed just far enough out of play.
And of course, in this jam, we would show TXRD just trying to focus on the best offensive wall that they can. Those offensive skaters we have in this are going to go ahead and be John Wayne. And then we have Scapegoat. And it looks like we have them joining by Jose Cuervo.
Dolly B. Rotten out of the front of the pack and trying to negotiate her way through that 3 wall of Texas blockers. And they just basically helped her down to the infield and said, have a seat. Your pizza will be ready shortly. So she took a seat there. 7 seconds to go here in the power jam, and that's going to do it. So excellent defense there by Texas.
Joliet Jane is joining us again after serving her last penalty, jamming for her team. And then we have jamming in pink is going to be number 419 at Pandemonium.
It's a 3-point jam there for Southside. Sorry, Harley, go ahead.
It's okay. We just want to make sure that we can get the penalties called for our viewers at home. So we have 2 skaters in pink serving penalties, 721, 629. And we do have a fail to reform and a legal procedure.
Emerging quickly now as your lead jammer for Texas. That is number 8, Joliet Jane. She is out and clear for Texas here and through the pack. And has left the jammer for Southside. So Joliet Jane now coming on around for a second scoring pass. You can see that Texas is really setting this up almost like a power jam. Big collision there. Texas blocker down. Joliet Jane trying to cut through, takes a tumble as well, but completes the scoring pass. Meanwhile, Southside's jammer still trying to find her way through. Tumbling into a couple of the blockers for Texas. It looks like the Southside jammer is out. And Joliet Jane finishes a scoring pass and calls it off. Should be a lot of points for Texas there. We'll wait for the official score now from the referees. And indeed, it's a big 15-point jam for Texas. And it could only get bigger for them as they now have a power jam on the jammer line by herself. Mostly Harmless, number 42 for the Texas All-Star Army.
Looks like this is going to be a power jam for TXRD. Number skater 42, Mostly Harmless, is going to be doing that. We have some penalties here. Looks like each team did pick up 2 penalties, which is down 2 blockers. Skater 419 did pick up an arms penalty. Skater 89 also did go ahead and pick up a failure to reform. For pink and the green, we have skater 29 and 24. Looks like they both picked up a failure to reform.
We are underway here in the Texas Power Jam. 10 seconds into it, and emerging out the front of the pack, there goes Mostly Harmless, out and an active scorer now, and will be coming around to try to put some points on the board. Texas pushed that lead up now. Texas up by more than 30 points after that big 15-point jam they just put on the board. Mostly Harmless now, mid-pack, trying to find her way through with some assistance from her 2 blockers that she has out there helping her.
No, not yet. Okay. 3. I need a pass Viking helmet. 4. I need a pass Viking helmet.
15 seconds to go here in the jam. And just a couple seconds left in the jam. Mostly Harmless trying to make it back to the pack before the whistle, not able to get there. Southside defenders able to push the pack just enough to keep it out of reach of Mostly Harmless for another scoring pass. It's a 5-point jam for Texas. 132 to 96 is the current score with just under 11 minutes to go in regulation. It's Skeletina for Texas, and for Southside, that's Lola Chola.
Looks like there were no penalties served on that last jam. As you can see, both teams have a full pack for this jam.
Both jammers out at roughly the same time. Skeletina burning up the track, trying to get back to the pack before Lola Chola can make up any ground. Skeletina goes in hips first, tries to get in front of a couple of skaters and calls off the jam. Picked up 1 point.
Just a little over 10 minutes left of the fourth quarter. We have TXRD to go ahead and pick up a point on that last jam. Going to bring it to 133 for TXRD and 96 for SSRD.
And it looks like as we get penalties sorted out, it's going to be a power jam for Texas. It's going to be Joliet Jane on the jammer line for Texas here. Another power jam and another chance for them to inflate that lead.
Looks like Lola did go ahead and pick up an illegal block, which is going to turn this into a power jam for Pink. And Green did have a, looks like they had a low block, by skater 247. Looks like they were Jose Cuervo.
So we resume with the Texas Power Jam here. Joliet Jane trying to find her way through the pack. Sees an opening to the outside there, but pushed up into the rail by that last blocker for Southside. And a big collision there. One of the blockers for Southside sliding down the track and knocking Joliet Jane down to the infield. 30 seconds to go halfway through this power jam. Joliet Jane is still not quite out of the track, trying to find her way through.
Southside has an amazing defensive wall going on right now. As you can see, TXRD will try to throw some offense in to help their jammer get out.
Yeah, I feel like Southside has done a good job all day on power jams specifically. They got a good penalty kill.
Absolutely strong walls.
Just not able to make a whole lot of ground up when you can't put points on the board. They're still under 100 points. The defense of Texas has been strong all day. Meanwhile, Joliet Jane out of the pack. She looks more exhausted than me last night. That was quite a fight to just get clear of the pack during that power jam. No points scored at all during the power jam. Again, fantastic defense by the Southside penalty kill. It's going to be Skeletina for Texas. And for Southside, that's Mermace.
No penalties on that last jam. Looks like both teams are going to be skating with a full pack. And looks like we have both skaters evenly right now trying to break their way through the pack. And then we have TXRD skater 10-12 Skeletina taking lead. And it looks like Mermace has finally made her way through that pack, and she's going to go ahead and try to make her way around the track to catch up with the other team's jammer. But she calls it off, which means Skeletina will go ahead and collect her points for that jam.
Setting up the jam now for Texas is going to be number 616, Scapegoat. And for Southside, it's number 8, Dolly B. Rotten.
Green did go ahead and pick up a penalty on that last one, so they'll be down a blocker. We have skater 9, Ruth Badger Ginsberg, go ahead and did go ahead and get black. My apologies. She did go ahead and pick up blocking out of play penalty.
Now emerging out the front of the pack for Southside. And there goes Dolly B. Rotten as your lead jammer. Scapegoat able to emerge from the pack as well, and they are trying to make up some ground.
Looks like we showed Depeche Lamo taking a few tumbles there for TXRD skater number 24.
We did have a lead change there with Scapegoat able to get by Dolly B. Rotten.
Jose Cuervo giving a little knock there towards the end.
And it looks like we did pick up a back block penalty on Dolly B. Rotten there, so she'll be taking a seat in the penalty box. And jamming for Texas is going to be Joliet Jane one more time on another power jam for Texas here with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in regulation. Texas picking up 2 points there. Southside picking up 1 point during that long jam.
Just a little over 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. At this time we do with this power jam. We'll see how many points the lovely Joliet Jane can pick up for her team.
Joliet Jane is out of the pack, and she is an active scorer, I should say. Joliet Jane now approaching the pack, just about halfway through the power jam here. 33 seconds to go. Joliet Jane Runs into the back of the pack, collides. Now trying to fight her way through and find her way to the front of the pack here.
We have Southside blocker Hot Tamale, number 89, doing an amazing job holding back that jammer.
And there goes Joliet Jane along the inside and able to find an opening and get through the pack with 9 seconds to go in the power jam. And it appears that Texas is going to shift into clock killing mode here as Joliet Jane leisurely makes her way on around and down the front straightaway, letting the clock expire in full. However, Joliet Jane appears that she may have picked up a penalty there, but before we get to that, yeah, too soon to say because there wasn't anybody from Texas out on the track because they were going to take a team timeout. So it's a team timeout for the Texas All-Star Army. That'll be our last time out of this bout with 5:20 to go in regulation. Texas going to take a second to talk this one over. Your score right now, 144-97, Texas on top. They have really come out aggressively here in the fourth quarter and are trying to put this game away.
All right, everyone, as we do have these little brief breaks through Chingadera, just don't forget to visit the Arizona Derby Dames Vendor Village. We do have a couple options over there for you, which will support our local businesses and vendors in our area. Stop outside to see what these local vendors have brought with them for you to try out. And pay attention throughout the tournament. You'll see vendors popping in and out as well.
Another one of our tournament sponsors, This is Bliss Massage. They're transforming lives one massage at a time, offering massage treatments at their Tempe office and via their mobile massage unit. They specialize in Swedish deep tissue, Reiki, and much more. Text or call 480-406-1314 to schedule an appointment.
Also, reminder, Off the Hook is still outside with breakfast options available for all you hungry visitors.
So we are setting up here for our next jam, and jamming for Southside is going to be number 419. That is Pandemonium. Jamming for Texas, it's number 62, Slayana Mormont. Slayana Mormont jammed one time in the first half, now out there again here in the second half as we get down into the waning moments of the game. Slayana Mormont to the front of the pack, now trying to find her way past a 3-wall of blockers for Southside and forced down onto the infield. Both jammers still doing battle and trying to get clear. It looks like Pandemonium is closest to it, and now Pandemonium is out and is your lead jammer with 22 seconds to go here in the jam.
Slayana looks like she's still working her way to get through the pack there. Looks like 127 Violet Viking did do a massive little slam for the jammer there. Quick recovery, though, for Slayana Mormont.
And that's going to do it for that jam as the clock expires. Texas succeeding in milking more time off the clock here. The clock has become the enemy of Southside. Southside trying to put a dent in the lead, but it is getting late in the game for that. On the jammer line now for Texas, number 9, the notorious RBG. And jamming for Southside is number 31, Lola Chola.
Lola Chola.
Big collision there, big block from one of the blockers for Southside, knocking Ruth Badger Ginsburg to the ground. Lola Chola out and clear as the lead jammer. Ruth Badger Ginsburg now up and trying to gain some ground there. Lola Chola by her blockers trying to find her way through that 3-wall of Texas defenders and calls off the jam.
Looks like we have some penalties being called on that pink. Number 629 Crash and Burn did go ahead and pick up a penalty. It looks like we have an arms penalty on that last one. So they'll be down a blocker for this jam.
We're going to have Skeletina jamming for Texas here. And for Southside, that's going to be Mermace. Under 3 minutes to go in regulation.
And looks like 127 Violet's doing a good job on making sure that that jammer does stay down.
There goes Skeletina, and she is your lead jammer for Texas. And Skeletina knocked down, took an errant shoulder. May have been friendly fire there. May have taken a shoulder from one of her teammates on Texas. Still trying to find her way through now. Big collision there, a lot of blockers. I see Dammit Jammit taking a tumble. Pivot for Southside, that's Violent Viking, and she's taking a second to get up on her feet there. Skeletina through the pack, 15 seconds to go here in the jam. Skeletina coming around for possibly more, and the jammer for Southside now out of the pack as well. So gonna try to put a cap on how many times Skeletina can get around. And Skeletina picks up a few points on that second scoring pass and calls off the jam.
All right, looks like pink is clear of penalties for this jam, last jam, but green picked up a couple. We have number skater 62 did go ahead and pick up a multiplayer block. Skater 29 did go ahead and pick up a low block, and then we have skater 1031 did go ahead and pick up a low block as well.
Setting up the jam for Texas is number 247, Jose Cuervo. And jamming for Southside, number 8, Dolly B. Rotten. Minute 15 to go in regulation as we wind down towards the end of this first bout here at Chingadera. Dolly B. Rotten out of the pack and is your lead jammer with Jose Cuervo just behind. So Dolly B. Rotten now checking the distance, going to try to get back to the pack before Jose Cuervo can put any points on the board. Dolly B. Rotten.
TXRD skater 247. Oh, she almost caught it. Little tumble was taken there. Everyone's okay.
As we square up for what may very well be the last jam of regulation, that's going to be number Leet Joliet Jane for Texas. And for Southside, it's Pandemonium.
And looks like TXRD is going to be down a blocker. Skater 629 Crash and Burn did go ahead and pick up a low block, so she'll be sitting out this next jam. Oh, jammers are both even. Look which jammer race, and looks like we have a call off from 419 to prevent that little collection. Pandemonium did take that jam.
So we will set up, and we will have one more jam in regulation. Setting up on the jammer line is going to be number 31, Lola Chola for Southside, and coming right back out there is number 1337, Joliet Jane. Right back out there to jam again for Texas here. The game clock has hit quadruple zeros, so this will be the last jam of regulation.
And we have skater, looks like 311 for Pink Evil Eye Candy did gather an arms penalty, so she's going to sit this jam out.
Emerging from the pack as lead jammer, there goes Joliet Jane.
Pink skater, we have number 31, Shola Lola, working her way to catch up to TXRD's jammer, Joliet Jane. Joliet Jane just did a real quick coping jump there, which is going to make her collect the points for this jam.
So we will take a moment here. We'll wait for the referees to review whether there will be any penalty jams.
And looks like we have a penalty being picked up by player number 616 for green. Looks like they were scapegoat, and they did go ahead and pick up a blocking out of play tie and a blocking out of play and a cutting. We need a darker marker, guys.
And so indeed we do have a penalty jam. So we got bonus derby here in the first bout of Chingadera. It's going to be number 9, Ruth Badger Ginsburg for Texas. For Southside, number 8, Dolly B. Rotten.
And looks like we have number 9 for TXRD trying to make her way through the pack, taking lead on that. As she takes a quick little tumble there. Looks like we have skater for pink, number 8, Rotten at the front of the pack, and try to push her way through. And it looks like Pink's jammer has switched to the defense method, which is a goal to try to prevent their skater from collecting more points. Great defensive wall from Pink there, making sure that Ruth cannot get out as easily as she wants to collect those points. (214) November Payne doing an amazing job on holding back that jammer.
And so we will step aside and check again to see if there will be another penalty jam.
I see a few penalties. Let's see what it is. All right, so we have TXRD did go ahead and pick up a penalty on that one. We have skater 9, so that means a power jam for Ruth. She did pick up an arms penalty. And then we have skater 247 did pick up a low block. Power jam. So for this power jam, it looks like we're going to have Pink skater number 31, Lola Chola, which we've seen a few times so far in this game with her team.
We have gotten ourselves a penalty jam, power jam. And we are ready to go. So Lola Chola out there to put some points on the board for Southside, perhaps. And Lola Chola able to battle her way to the front of the pack and emerge as an active scorer, now coming around on her first scoring pass attempt with 37 seconds to go here in the jam. Able to fight her way past those blockers at the front of the pack. And coming around for more will be Lola Chola. This time down to the inside to get past that first part of the pack.
Slaya Mormont, looks like Joliet Jane, we're trying to hold that jammer back. And I believe that that is the end of our fourth quarter.
Well, we will see if there's going to be another
I
penalty
see
jam.
a penalty. Looks like TXRD's skater number 62, Slaya Mormont, did go ahead and get a stopping penalty for her team. So I think we might have another round of what we just seen.
We indeed have another penalty jam. PAF Blue Ribbon giving an enthusiastic penalty jam fist pump. So we're back up to it, and this is just going to keep going, apparently. SSRD putting 10 points on the board during that last jam.
I don't know if
Texas.
you feel the suspense, but with a couple power jams, they could definitely take a win for this game.
Just waiting for a second here for Texas to get their jammer on the track, and they did not. Texas failed to get a jammer out there, so this turns into a power jam for SSRD by default. So a power jam for SSRD now.
Looks like we have skater 419 Pandemonium doing this power jam for her team. As the last one, we did see Lola Chola.
There goes Pandemonium, and she is out and clear as your active scorer here. Once again, Texas not able to get a jammer on the track before the jam started, so they forfeit the opportunity to score any points here. There goes Pandemonium weaving her way through the pack. You can definitely see the skaters for SSRD trying to be as careful as they can. And if they keep skating penalty-free as they've done in the last 3 jams, and if Texas keeps picking up penalties, we could just keep doing penalty jams, you know, ad nauseum. And that is going to do it for that power jam for SSRD. 9-point jam there for SSRD.
Looks like we have skater 127 Violet Viking did go ahead and pick up a back block penalty. No, wait. Blocking out of bounds. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot see if it was a B or a
I still think blocking out of bounds should be Bob.
It should.
I don't know why it's not Bob. I don't get it. And that's going to do it with the official signal from the head referee. That is going to do it for our first bout of Chingadera 2019. And your winning score, Texas.